I
but
know.
I didn't get in the shower. I was like, I couldn't stop reading this.
I know.
It's called The Dinner Party. It's Viola von Descent. Von Descent. Um, she lives in the Netherlands. Oh man, oh man, oh man. We'll be talking about it later, but it was so fun reading this. And
It's
it's yeah,
like it's a domestic like literary fiction novel, but reads like a thriller. Um,
correct.
yeah,
Correct. And it just is like you're reading it and then this one and you're just like, I mean, if a dinner party could go like bad, it just keeps getting worse.
it goes bad slowly and then all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like some of the reveals are just like, what? And then you're like, do I need to reread this? Yeah.
Is it a debut or is it first one, or is it someone who's done other books?
I don't think it's a debut, but I'm unsure if it's a debut in English.
Yeah.
It might be, but it
Um,
says a draft of the previous novel was longlisted. So I think that
Oh.
for the 2019, my eyes are so bad. So I think it might have been maybe done like in a small, I don't know. Anyways,
Well, this is the big book, so.
this is the
and
book.
it's Sally Kim is the person who brought
Oh,
this in
I'm in
uh
then.
to Hachette. Yeah, sorry. Sorry to rub some salt in the wound, but
Here's the salt shaker.
yeah.
Where's the
Okay.
little salt shaker? Where's the little
We do
salt
plenty of that, so
But
yeah.
you know the taste level I'm talking about.
Yes, yes.
And in fact,
Yeah.
that reminds me, there's a book that's under Crown, Amy Einhorn, that I wanted. I get way too many recommendations from like all the book conferences that we do. Now, you all recommend great books for me, obviously, but then the book conferences that we do, like Book Expo, I meet like lots of compatriot friends, and so I start following them, and then they're highlighting books that they've already gotten. It's like, I want to read that.
That's the
How'd you
fun
get
of it,
that?
Julie.
I know. How'd you get that? I want that one. It's like I am definitely the definition of FOMO.
And
I
too many books, not enough time.
Oh
Yes.
my God. And then the hardest thing is, and in fact, Mary Allen, she might be watching this, she might not, I don't know. She's one of our great booksellers that we have at the store. It's one of those things that almost picking the next book becomes paralyzing because it's like, what do I read next? Because you have so many choices. Um, okay, Beth
Yeah.
read Bug Hollow this weekend.
Oh, yay, Beth.
So good.
So
Yeah,
happy.
awesome. Well,
But
and then
anyways,
there's the other part of the problem where, like, as a rep, you can get reader's block.
Yeah.
It happens when you have to read hundreds of books or snippets of hundreds of books.
Right.
And that's hard.
Yeah.
But one time I was reading so much that I was starting to, like, the book, the world of the book that I was reading was starting to bleed into reality.
oh,
And I woke up one morning and I was like, is that happening in my life or is that a book? And I was like, okay, this is wrong. I just
Yeah.
step back.
step away from the books.
Time for a vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of people on here reading Bug Hollow.
Oh my gosh, thank you all. Thank you all. It deserves to be read. It needs to be read. Yes.
It's
right?
just one of those books that's just
Yeah.
a really, really good book.
It's gonna take
It
all
just
of us
is.
recommending it.
Yep. And now, it's just that so many people on here reading it. And it's a good book club, but it's just, I think, going to have legs forever and ever. I just
Yeah.
think it's just one of those books. Tom, you still have to get it for my Golden Poppy submission.
Yes, yes, yes.
I
I
need that.
will do that.
I need, because, oh God, Terry Gilman's on the committee with me and she wants it on there too. So
Excellent.
if you guys don't get it that way, we'll request it. Okay.
We should be able to get it that way.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
I know.
it should. It's like she's like full on California. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get to some good books. I've been reading a ton this weekend. I've finished like 3 books this weekend. It was a little crazy. So we've got we'll go Andrea, Julia, Tom, and so Andrea, I think you're starting off with one of my favorite books too.
Was this the
I think
one?
I need to gush about this one. I've loved this book.
Yes, this is officially on sale tomorrow. It is a strict on sale date because it was chosen by a major national book club And so this book cannot go out until tomorrow. It is going to be announced on one of the big East Coast morning shows.
Can I just say that because this was originally supposed to come out in October. Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting. It was supposed to come out in October. When I saw they pulled it up to July, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, somebody's got this.
Yeah, here we go. Here we
It's
go.
so good.
It is really a great novel. And sometimes people can, and I understand why, because there's a lot of National Book Club books, these days. And I'm not necessarily one of those readers that goes right out and buys something because it's been chosen by a national book group, a national book club, excuse me. But this is one I would go out and buy. I was completely impressed by this. I think that this is going to be considered one of the first big books dealing with the ethical snarl of the AI era that we're rushing headlong into right now. But it works on so many different levels. It's also a family portrait. It is it's the story of a disintegrating marriage. It's got a tinge of a thriller. There's unbelievable reveals, like in twists. It's got like it's got literary chops, but it's also just like the most breezy and page turning commercial novel as well.
Mm-hmm.
It works on every level. It's very cinematic. I just defy you not to like this book. I think there's something for a lot of different kinds of readers in this book. I do also love that each chapter is headed by an excerpt from a book, a very important book, of course, fictional, by the mother and wife in this story, who's an AI expert and like one of the first like philosophers who took on AI, and these revelations from each of these excerpts in the book or each chapter. I mean, it seems like it could be from a nonfiction book on AI. And I mean, it's just really amazing. So Bruce Holzinger, the author, has really done an amazing job here. Everybody loves it. It's getting a lot of great early blurbs from all of the, authors that, you like all the big name authors. It's getting tons of love from booksellers all across the indie spectrum. And I just expect this to, catapult onto the bestsellers list pretty quickly after it's announced. And Warwick's has plenty of copies. They'll go on hand tomorrow. And rush right out and get it. I'm telling you, I think this is a winner. It's got all the hallmarks of a book that's going to sell for a long time. And I know you want to talk about it, Julie, so go.
Well, I mean, just say, everything you said is what it is. And so, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with everything you say. It's just got everything. Great cover.
Yeah, cover's great. Depicts like where the family heads off to after a tragedy. But I'm not.
I mean, it's just, yeah. And we're hosting him in October. But that was the whole thing. It's like when it was originally going to be out in October.
Because it was the original on sale day.
Right.
Got it.
So, anyways, yeah, I think it's got all of that. It's just going to be, here's the thing. It's got all the makings for it. It should be one of those books that everybody reads because it just is that good. And it's just got all of the touchstones of, how does a family deal with guilt? Like this accident happens. And then it's like, everybody deals with, yeah, it's really good.
And I can recommend Bruce as a writer because we published the last two books.
Yep.
And he has just a knack for bringing in like great family. I think both books were also family stories, but there were big ideas also embedded in their story and also page turning and of the moment. So this is perfect.
And this one comes from Spiegel and Grau, who, if I'm remembering right, was with Riverhead. Is that correct?
Long ago, yes.
long
ago.
ago. Yeah,
So-
they're two powerhouse executive editors, and the namesake of the press, and they are just on a roll right now. So just nice to see nice people. It's an amazing group of people to work with, and so
And Amanda just put in the Gifted
Right.
School
And the
the
displacements.
I didn't read the Gifted School, but I read the Displacements. You want a book about like getting your act together before a
Yeah.
tragedy happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Climate change in that way. AI
Yeah.
here, climate change there.
Right. All right, Julia, what do you got for us?
Okay. I'm gonna go the completely opposite direction.
Okay. Which I love
Um,
about this.
And we're gonna have a nice summer fun read. This is Julie Soto's new book, Rose in Chains. Julie Soto is a romance author, has written 2 previous contemporary romances. This one is not contemporary, although, and I'm going to apologize in advance that I'm going to have to teach you all a new vocabulary word today, which is Dramione. I'm not teaching it to Tom. I know because and so
okay, you two are killing me. What is this?
okay, so this is what happens when you have to follow up selling people's seasons when Tom Benton has sold them before you get there. It's I'm gonna put it in the chat so you can all see how it's spelled. But this is so I don't know how much people know about fan fiction, but
I for one knew nothing before this whole thing.
yes, Tom knew nothing. I have been at various points in my life a pretty devout fan fiction reader, but one particular fandom is the Harry Potter fandom. And one of the things about fan fiction is they take characters from a series that aren't together in the series and they put them together. And so this book started as Draco Malfoy, Hermione Granger fan fiction. It has obviously been changed as to not step on any person's toes. But
although many of
so
us would like to step on that
I'll step
person's
on
toes,
exactly.
physically step on the toes.
But this is sort of about magicians. It's about it's high school, a magic high school, and much fun to be had. It is a romance. I read it because I really have liked Julie Soto's other books. And one of the things I have to say about Julie Soto is that I think sometimes one of the things that sometimes turns me off to some books is like they're so serious. Some of these genre year titles. Julie Soto is so funny. And this book is so much fun and so funny to read that it doesn't matter if you care about Harry Potter or any of the characters or not. It is just a delight to read. So this is Julie Soto's Rose in Chains. She's a beloved California author and has been nominated. I think she might have won the Golden Poppy one year. And she is just a delight. So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. All my demons are coming out in the chat. Not really, they're not my demons.
That's right, exactly.
Hold on. How did Tom? I still don't know the connection to Tom.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
Just
please.
wait till what?
My next book.
Okay.
I just changed up my order because of this situation, which is fantastic. I love it.
Okay, this is good. All right. Next.
Okay, so I have no connection to fan fiction. So when this book was presented at Sales Conference, imagine the look on my face when this word came up, Dramione. I'm like, please, what? And then younger reps were like emailing me, sending me texts, telling me, oh, let me explain and how big Dramione is. And then I got out into the world. This is why I still always love my job, because I am learning things all the time that I just had no clue. So yes, Dramione, Julia has laid the groundwork here, and I have nothing I've loved more than when I sold this summer season is explaining like me explaining Hermione. It was hilarious. And then there would almost always be a bookseller, like I'd be with the buyer, but there'd be a bookseller around who would confirm everything I'm saying about the popularity of Hermione. So Berkeley has, now, Julia, is your book on sale tomorrow? I'm assuming it is.
It is on sale tomorrow. Yes.
Love it. Because I knew you had a book, but I didn't know when it was. There are three
Yeah.
books that are coming out of this world. One is from Random House in October, I think, and that is darker. That is like it's darker. But this is I would now I haven't read this book. Surprise, surprise. But the irresistible urge to fall for your enemy is more the Ali Hazelwood version of Hermione. I think that's what it seems to me. Also, the number one indie next pick for July.
Okay, that's this. All right, because I was like, what is on the first? What is on the
Julie's
cover?
trying to figure out what is going on.
What
It's
is
a
happening?
Hermione takeover.
Now
So
this
yes,
explains it.
so this was just a genuine groundswell among booksellers to nominate this book. Also, the other thing I learned two important things. Well, one important thing, but also a second. How to spell irresistible. I started out the season not always getting that right, but by the end, I know how to spell irresistible. So this is Hermione. It's a different world. The quote from a bookseller on the Indie Next list describes it as a fun, witty, enemies to lover romance that delivers plenty of banter, sizzling tension, and the right amount of angst. If you love a stubborn and slow burn romance, this one has exactly what you're looking for. So tomorrow on sale tomorrow. Also, the two books will. I love when two books come out the same day for the same audience. The world will see. And I'm only sad that now this is really the end of me talking about Hermione. I'm pretty sure I don't have a
until
reason.
October. Until October.
Well, that's Wade. That's Wade.
Oh, that's Wade.
And then,
All right.
but I will. But this is the beginning of a duology, so I take all that back. Maybe next year at this time.
Yeah. And here's the deal, though, with this type of book and this type of reader. They will read that book probably in a day and a half and want the other book. So it's like
exactly.
There's
sure.
room for more than one of these kind of books.
Sure. Because they've read, as I understand it, Julia, correct me if I'm wrong, they've already read thousands and thousands of pages of this fan fiction. They've already devoured thousands of pages and they want more.
I had one store, I can't remember what it was mad at me because they were like, "Oh, you're the reason that got taken down," because they have to take them off the fan fiction forums.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't do it.
I mean, and Julie, I was just completely distracted when you're talking because I was like, what's happening here? But Emma, what's her name? Emma Watson truly had a crush on the actor who plays
Tom Felton.
Draco. I mean, had a full-on crush on him when they were making the movie. So, I mean, because I watched, this was like years ago, we watched that 20th anniversary thing or whatever, and they talk about it. So, this is,
I know, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
I think though too, like they're very fun stories. I will say, I want to iterate that like they are both Hermione fan fiction, and whether or not that means anything to you, they are just fun to read.
Yeah.
Right. And I would say for this one, I trust Berkeley, which is the publisher of Ali Hazelwood, Emily Henry, you name it. They know this world, and this is the one they got.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And ours is coming for forever, which is the Berkeley of Hachette.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We got so much going on in the chat, I can't even keep up. But we've got White Python, people loving White Python. Amanda's recommending Bone Season as a adjacent. And as we're talking about this, I loved Amanda's comment. We're in Comic-Con season, y'all. So that's where that's where we're at with all this fun. All right. Andrea, follow that, why don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am now back to historical fiction of a literary note.
Look at that cover, though. That's a great cover.
Yeah, The Rarest Fruit. This is from Europa Editions. And if you've ever stopped to wonder how vanilla basically a spice derived from a tiny island in the West Indies, like became a fixture in world cuisine. This is the novel for you. It was basically there was an enslaved boy who is the protagonist of this novel, who had extraordinary botanical talents and learned how to hand um, what do you call it when you hand pollinate like a bee, basically, but by hand. He hand pollinated these orchid flowers um to produce like vanilla pods and paved the way for basically industrializing this process. And this is set this is set in the 19th century on the tiny island of Revolution, which is still a French holding. And our protagonist is a real character. He was an enslaved boy who figured this all out. So, and it's beautifully written, and it's just a great rediscovered history that makes a fantastic novel. Just last week, the New York Times included this in their 9 New Books We Love this week feature. And let me see if let me just pull this up from the little, write-up that they gave. Balam's fictional account of Edmund's experience, that's our enslaved boys, like the star of this book, account of Edmund's experiences is also an ironic portrait of a society in which the official abolition of slavery does little to improve the lives of the formerly enslaved, because it does work into like the French freed enslaved people before we did. Most countries around the world did. So, but it's just a great read. It's nice to see that it's getting early attention. It was just out on June 17th, and it also received a pre-pub starred review from, I think it was Kirkus, which is one of the great industry like review spots. So it's got a lot going for it, and again, it's got the imprimatur of Europa. That it's got some editorial quality there.
Yeah, and I love Europa titles, and Amanda's putting in here that the translator also did. This translator, I guess, did Freshwater for Flowers.
Yeah.
Which was one of our favorite books.
Yes. And the Mirror Visitor Quartet, which is a young adult fantasy series of some note, it's definitely a crossover. It's really, I don't feel, when I read it, I didn't feel like I was reading YA. It's very,
right.
It's got some depth and heft.
But I love the whole vanilla, because you're right. How did that vanilla bean come from this little, and it's like literally you can't do pretty much any recipe without it these days, at least in baking at least.
It's true. And you know how long it takes for orchids to produce flowers and everything. So that's why the hand pollination method was so important back in the day when they were, trying to like produce vanilla at scale.
Yeah. And Julia, I love that you got a gift to somebody who handmade vanilla for you.
My cousin and his wife.
That's so cool. I'd almost be afraid to use it.
It's so good.
You couldn't wait to use it, Julia.
Yeah, I use it like I make a lot of granola, and I make my own whipped cream so that it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it.
Right.
And I use it in that. It's really good.
Oh.
Well, I just use cognac for my whipped cream.
Oh, okay, there you go. Well, what have I been doing all these years?
If I had that vanilla, I would definitely, have to switch it up.
I love it. All right, we're talking food again. It's dinner time. All right, Julia, what do you got next for us?
Oop, I forgot it was my turn.
I don't think you guys are ever going to stop Hermione. So
no, and I think we have to have a pact that the next time Patricia is on, we need to discuss Hermione, because it would not surprise me if Patricia also knows about Hermione, but
True,
Maybe not.
but I would have loved to watch your face during
I
that
know.
conversation. Oh, look at this book.
Okay, so I brought a kid's book. This is an utter delight. It is Go Sloth Go. And it is, let me see if I can get this jacket. There we go. Um, it is, I think, a great sort of bedtime book. It's a children's board book. Um, Sorry that I have to use this new view. It's not as good. But anyway, it's this. What I love is like I love these illustrations. I love the colors of this. It's not a lot of words, so like in order to, have a sleepy time book, it sort of helps. And of course, the funny part is that it is urging the whole time a sloth to go sloth go, but as you all know, they don't go very fast. So um, this is it was done with the sloth rescue in Costa Rica. So it's like both Little Brown Young Readers and this sloth rescue in Costa Rica, which I just so happen to have been to.
Wow.
And yes, I know. And it's really cool. They save sloths in Costa Rica. Sloths often like end up like in places they're not supposed to be, or like in the street, and they go very slowly. And so, that's very dangerous. So there's a rescue that sort of rescues them, helps rehabilitate them if they're injured, puts them back into the wild, or if they can't be put back into the wild, it cares for them. And so it like partnered with Little Brown to do that. Sloth Rescue partnered with Little Brown to do this book. So it's for a good cause as well. And it is just an utter delight of a children's book. So I really feel like it's one that if you have a kid in your life that you read to, sometimes it might be a good one to pick up. Yeah.
I just wrote it down. Just wrote it down. It's another board book that's going in.
Yeah.
Go Sloth Go.
Go
Love
Sloth
it.
Go. I had a buyer to tell me that after she's like, I read through it, and then like I found myself anytime I had to move, I would like sort of chant Go Sloth Go to myself. And like,
That might be my new road rage mantra.
I mean, listen,
like
in
it.
this day and age, take that and run with it. I think we all need a mantra like that.
Go Sloth Go.
Go Sloth Go.
Oh my God, I love it. Run with it. I love it. All right, Tom.
All right, so I have switched up my order because I want to end on a very high note.
All right.
This was going to be my lightning round. It's not an utter delight. I will say that. It's not. Julie and I were in sync the last time, not this time, but on sale tomorrow. Penguin Press will publish
Oh,
2024. I don't even want to read the subtitle, but I guess I have to. How Trump retook the White House and the Democrats lost America. So this is one of those campaign books that come every 4 years. And I went through like my own process of like different mental states as I sold it, because I originally sold it about like September of last year, and I thought, wouldn't it be an utter delight to read this book? Because, I'm pretty sure I know how this is gonna, because at that time we didn't have a title. We knew the authors, we didn't know the outcome. That's why now it's July. It was originally like, I don't know, March or something. But these are three, and the authors too kind of reflect the craziness since we started selling this book, because I think they were all at the Washington Post when they started this book. But with what's happened to media, the only one of them is now at the Wall Street Journal. Another one's at the New York Times. The third one is still at the Washington Post. So and Penguin Press, they do a lot of different kinds of books, but one thing they do really well is these kind of breaking news books. It's embargoed, so I could not have read it because there's literally nothing to read until tomorrow, and that's when the authors will be on every news show, every podcast. The reviews will start to run. The New York Times. I kept looking today to see if there was a New York Times review. That it's not up yet, but it will be up soon. So you know who you are if you want to read it's the behind the scenes. They've talked to the Harris team, the Biden team, the Trump team, putting it all together. This is the story of the 2024 election.
Who are tell me who the three authors are.
There's Josh Dawsey from the Wall Street Journal, Tyler Pager from the New York Times, and Isaac Arnsdorf, Washington Post. And so I think they were like embedded with the different teams, and they've won, like Dossie won the Pulitzer Prize. They've won and also award for his reporting on the January 6th attack. They've all won awards. They're all award-winning authors. It's just the subject matter that is. So the way then I had to sell it again after the election, and I was like, oh, this is a different book than what I tried to sell you the last time. So the life of a rep, you never know exactly. You go from Hermione to 2024.
Well, and Beth is thanking you for not ending on this book.
Yes, I know. Okay, good. Because it worked out better because I love the book. I'm going to end on the best book. So
all right, good. Okay, can't wait.
I did hear on the radio they're going to be on NPR tomorrow. I think I heard like,
oh, okay.
I was driving from Pages earlier today, and they were saying that.
Yeah. I think for a period of time we won't be able to drive or turn on the television without hearing one of them.
Yeah. All right. Okay, lightning round. Andrea, what do you got for us?
I have a cool gifty book. The Enduring Wild, A Journey into California's Public Lands by Josh Jackson. And this is basically a road trip in book form, exploring the acres upon acres of Bureau of Land Management land parcels all over the state. It basically it spans high desert, low desert, chaparral, coastal areas, and of course the gorgeous Eastern Sierra, from which I am now coming to you from. And it's basically, this is the first non-travel guide book exploring the BLM lands. And it covers, there's so many of these parcels that are set aside as public lands in California, and it covers a lot of places that aren't necessarily popular or widely visited or even known. And it's just really great. It's got great maps. The photographs are lovely. And the thing that I like about this as well is that it's got narrative heft. So it's a gift book with narrative heft. The author, Josh Jackson, explores the millennia of indigenous folks who lived on these lands, and then moves all the way up to the present day where the mad rush for extraction and selling these lands off is now threatening these lands because there's a lot of people, including in the current federal government, that wants to sell off a lot of the public lands around the country, including these here in California. So it's just a really important and beautiful book from our friends at Heyday, based out of Berkeley, California. It's $38, 264 pages, and you can see how lavishly illustrated it is. And I think that this is one of those books that's going to work through the holidays and beyond, just because there's so many people that are interested in California and the lands, and just the natural glories of our state. So,
well, and I know there's lots of things to fight out there these days, but the selling off of public lands is kind of up there with me, and so this is one to keep in the forefront of everybody's mind about how important our public lands are.
Yeah, very important. I mean, and it's just like, I think about it here because there's a lot of BLM lands here. Obviously, there's Forest Service lands, and then there's also Department of Water and Power from, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power lands here because of the early theft of all the water rights in California over 100 years ago, 120 years ago, 125 years ago now. But I just can't imagine not being able to go out into this vast landscape here because there's like barbed wire fence because like somebody's decided to like buy a 90,000 acre parcel and keep everyone off of it. So it's just really important. And I just, you know, you don't know what you got until you lose it sometimes.
Well,
And
and I missed the Ken Burns. He was on one of the morning shows yesterday. In fact, I just wrote it down to go out and look at it again because he was on one of either Meet the Press or he was on one of those. And I'm not sure what he was talking about, but I have a feeling it might have been about the public lands.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
anywho, thank you for that one very much.
I have a good California water book coming in the fall. So
Well,
stay tuned.
the one that reminds me of is if anybody hasn't read Properties of Thirst.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a
Marianne-
great book.
That's Marianne Wiggins.
Yeah, that was a Simon and Schuster.
That's a very good book about the whole Central Valley and what happened with the water rights and everything.
Yeah, and also on the Eastern Sierra too. It's set in the Eastern Sierra as well. And that book is a really great, like, because it's multi-generational and it really tells the story of that history in like a beautiful novelistic form. So yeah.
Okay, Julia, what do you got for us?
All right. Okay. So my last one is for next week. I apologize, but I have a sort of full slate next week.
I love it.
I thought we would finally do it and talk about Lisa Scottolini. This woman stole the name of my memoir, The Unraveling of Julia. When this one first popped onto my desk, I said, well, I must read this book because that's how I feel all the time. And I had never read a Lisa Scottolini book, and I read it and I thought, this is so much fun. Like, it is a delight to read. It's a psychological thriller. It's about a woman who she was adopted, and her adoptive parents are both dead, and then her husband is killed in this sort of violent attack as they're walking down the street in Philadelphia. And she becomes sort of agoraphobic and doesn't want to leave the house. And then one day a letter comes telling her that she's inherited a Tuscan villa, but she needs to come to Tuscany to claim it. And she ends up sort of, through much upheaval in her life, getting out of the house finally and going to do that, and then getting sucked into something even bigger than she even knew about, and sort of finding out who she was and why she might have inherited this Tuscan villa when she doesn't know who her parents are or where her lineage is from. So it's a great thriller. It is a lovely Italian countryside backdrop on a great thriller. And I really had fun with it. It's not the kind of book I normally read, but I had a great time reading it. And so I can't say, I feel like I started off with a summertime book of a certain ilk, and this is a summertime book for a different group of people. So hopefully one of them tickles your fancy.
Yep, and that's true. And this is one of those books too, though. And when you said that the book's delightful, we happen to follow her. Or I follow her, I think, on my book page. She is delightful.
Yes,
she is so just this full of energy, and just she just is. And I think that's truly how she is. I don't think it's a big act, you know what I mean? I just think that, and so that comes across in her books too. So yeah, she is absolutely a delight. And yeah, Dawn, yes, Michael Hiltzik, the Golden State was he was at the store. That was another very dense, good book about what we got going on here in California. All right, Tom, end on a note.
I'm gonna end on a high note, a banger. Marriage at Sea by Sophie Elmhurst. Out tomorrow, and as Julie knows, I have been banging the drum for many months about this book to anyone and everyone who will listen. So, and it's a beautiful publishing story. Everything about it is just perfect. So, except the story itself.
Yeah, I was going to say
anything but the book itself, I think, is such a great read. So, Maurice in Maryland. It's 1972 in England. these two very British people and very different people come together. They couldn't be more different, but they are dreamers and they don't want to waste their life. And so he especially dreams of selling everything, buying a boat, and sailing from England to New Zealand, which is crazy in my opinion, but that's why I read books, so I could read about people who like to do these things. And they do it. And then in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a whale breaches the boat and they end up on a raft for over 100 days. So it's a story of survival for sure. So I think this is for every reader, I feel like. David Grann readers, yes, for you too. So in England, it was published as Maurice and Marilyn, which maybe worked well in the UK, but not is probably not the best title for here. So Riverhead changed it to A Marriage at Sea. And I love that because it's so much about a marriage. I'm glad sea comes second. Sea is important, but it's really about this marriage. The two of them will break your heart. He absolutely would not have survived. There would be no Maurice without Marilyn because she did most everything when they were out there. But it is a story of and you can't help but put yourself in their position with your significant other and think, what would I do? How could I survive? Which of this pair would I be? So Jin Martin at Riverhead doesn't edit very many books. She's mostly just the publicist, marketer extraordinaire. But when she sees the right book, she does it. And so she edited Wintering a few years ago. It became a mega best-selling book that's a perennial. She edits Pico Iyer now, her second book. And she found this book published in England and has really nurtured it all along from the title to working with the author. And the author is she's a New Yorker writer who's going to be a star, I think. This is her very first book. It's just the right length, like it's perfect. Every sentence is perfect. It's not too much. It'll send you down rabbit holes to look at the real Maurice and Marilyn, look at their rescue. But really it's about this beautiful story of a marriage. And everything has slowly but surely come together. So it was published last year, I think, in the UK. And it just a couple weeks ago won Best Book of the Year in England, which was over the best, not just best nonfiction, but best book.
Wow.
And the panel included, or the chair of the judging panel was Bill Bryson, who called it impressively novelistic in its narrative approach, a gripping retelling of a true but forgotten story. So I cannot recommend it enough. If any of these different strands appeal to you, you will love it.
Just pick it up.
It's in its second reprint they've reprinted it twice before it's even on sale because the buzz has started. It has been going. The New York Times Book Review Podcast picked 4 books that they were most looking forward to. This was one of them. The reviews have started. Washington Post says few nonfiction books get a reader's adrenaline pumping quite like Sophie Elmhurst's A Marriage at Sea. Boston Globe, A Marriage at Sea is so much more than a shipwreck tale. It's a story of love and strength, a portrait of a marriage that, for all its oddities, is a true partnership. So, on sale tomorrow, in hardcover, Marriage at Sea. It's going to sell for a long time. I
think so too. And it's one of those things, like you said, you're looking up different things. I was curious. It's like, how do you get from England down to New Zealand? I was like, where are we going here?
Exactly. It's a long way.
A long way, and it's just
And when they're out there day after day of not seeing anything. Yeah.
But I love he wouldn't have survived without her, and it's so true. 1,000%.
I mean, it's a heartbreaker in a certain way, but also hopeful I'm glad the story is being told again. I think it was somewhat famous in its day, at least
in its day. Yeah, probably.
But it's long forgotten, and it's a story that deserves to be retold. Oh, and
I can't remember. Are they still alive?
No, they're not.
Neither one.
But I think he had written a book, maybe. She and the author has a lot of letters that they and that they wrote. Patrick Radden Keefe, another New Yorker writer, calls it a dazzling book. So,
and he's so good.
Yeah. So who wouldn't love it?
I know. All right, A Marriage at Sea. It is. It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, and I forgot while you were talking, Andrea, I was going to mention this book. It's not coming out until August. I'll do a quick review on it right now, but we'll talk about it more. But talk about this is Other People's Kids. It's about these teachers, and it's told in 3 different storylines. But what I love is you're talking about publishing stories, and what I love about this particular publisher is that they publish women over the age of 50, and I love that. So anyways, that'll be my talk in August, but such a good book. I love that book. So many good things.
I'm so glad that you like it, and I appreciate your advocacy.
Yep, I love it. All right, hold on. Beth's talking about her brother.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. So they plan to continue.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Well, thank God. Can you imagine?
No.
I can't imagine that.
No.
Thank God they just like get on a plane and go back home. All right, everybody. Some really great. We learned a new word category today. We had some fun. We've got some great Martha's Vineyard Beach and Book Club. Okay, that's a book. All right, awesome. Thanks, Darcy. All right. Usually summer's slow, but there's some really good books that are coming out this summer.
Yeah.
I've got and I just read. Okay, I read one that's you don't need to put it on the chat though, Amanda. I just read Sandwich because I think that Gabe talked about it a while ago. And it's one of those, I think it's either you love it or you hate it kind of book. I thought it was fine. So I don't know if anybody's read Sandwich or not, but she's got a new book coming out in October, I think, called Wreck. So yeah. Okay, Beth liked it. See? We've got some controversy at the store. There's people that really don't like it.
Oh, I haven't read it, but I thought everybody loved it. I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some dissent. I thought it was fine. I thought it was to me it was quick. To me, what I loved about it was a short book that was I literally read it in a day. I started in the morning, finished it that night in 2 settings. It was just and it was that perfect little book, that just kept me going, wanted to finish it. So to me, that's a good book. So there you go. I don't know why they don't like it, Beth, because I texted the person and I said, we'll talk on when I see her on Wednesday. So I'm going to find out. I think she didn't like the way that the woman treated her husband. I think that was a big thing for her, but we'll see. But anyways, all right. I digress completely. Anyways, all right, everybody, another great week. And we will see y'all next week. Have a good, stay cool wherever you're at. San Diego's pretty good. We're at 68 degrees or something. I don't know.
Of course.
Go check out Julia's podcast.
I know. Wherever you get podcasts.
Yep.
Yes, it's called Dawson's Critique if you really need to go find it.
I love it. Dawson's
greatest podcast title in history. That one.
Really good podcast title. Leave it to Julia though to have a good podcast title.
Yeah. It was actually my friend who I did it with. It was her husband came up with it. So
that's
I can take no credit.
I mean, Julia is one of those people that contains multitudes, as they say.
Multifaceted. We love it. True. All right, yeah, we've got your book. Did I talk about this? I don't know if I talked about this. This is one we've been looking forward to. This is until November, though. Hold on to your hats. Okay. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.